Castillo. I'm a first-year journalism major from New York.
Hi, my name is Kayla Caldwell. I am a second-year biology major on the pre-medical track from Detroit, Michigan.
Hi, I'm Lauren Ginyard. I'm a first-year strategic communication major with a criminal justice minor from Baltimore, Maryland.
Hi, I'm Katie Jenkins. I'm a first-year architecture major from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi, my name is Kamara Johnson. I'm a first-year architecture major from New Jersey.
Hi, my name is Atlanta Smalls, first-year theater major, film studies minor from Brooklyn, New York.
Hi, my name is Mayan Carroll. I'm a second-year psychology pre-med major from PG County, Maryland.
Hi, my name is Savannah Abrams. I'm a first-year kinesiology major from Dallas, Texas.
And this is our introduction to computer-mediated communication.
Okay. What is computer-mediated communication? Computer-mediated communication, better known as CMC, refers to any form of communication that happens through digital technology rather than face-to-face. It includes tools like email, messaging apps, video calls, and social media platforms. CMC can happen in real time or with delays, shaping how people connect, share information, and build relationships online. We are going to go through a brief history of computer, going through major decades of computers associated with computer-mediated communication, and explains how we communicate today. We are now going to start with the 1970s. The 1970s marked the start of computer-mediated communication, CMC, when computers began connecting people instead of just processing data. The creation of the ARPANET and the invention of email by Ray Tomlinson made digital messaging possible for the first time. Email quickly became the main use of early networks and led to the rise of online communities and bulletin boards. This decade transformed computers into tools for communication and collaboration, paving the way for internet as we know it today. So the internet really started with email messaging. Email messaging is how people with jobs or schools connected to one another before we had text messaging and call systems. So the computer, the ARPANET system, was the very start of computer-mediated communication.
The 1980s marked the beginning of computer-mediated communication. So they just started the fax machines, which transformed business communication by enabling instant document transmission over telephone lines. The answering machines became a big thing in the 80s as well, and this allowed people to leave recorded messages. Pagers was the closest thing to a phone, and it was the first real step towards mobile communication. They allowed people to receive alerts and brief messages, which was revolutionary at the time.
Hey, Alita, I'm going to the library later. Do you want to meet me there?
Sure, I'll see you at 3. I'll call your house phone if I'm running late.
Okay, I'll be home if you need.
Okay.
Back then, communication was personal and in person. People relied on landlines, letters, and face-to-face conversations. Messages took time, and so did relationships. But that slower pace also made communication feel meaningful and intentional. There was no ghosting, no leaving someone on red. If you wanted to talk to someone, you showed up.
So in the 1990s, things like the beeper and the pager were really popular. Even though it was invented in the 1970s, it became more used in the 1990s. And the World Wide Web was also invented in the 1990s, specifically 1991 by Tim Berners-Lee. This became the technological shift that was seen in the 1990s. Chat rooms became more popular because you could reach people internationally, not only in your country. They played a big role in all types of communication, whether that was for work, whether it was personal use, whether it was talking about a show with your friends. Especially with teenagers, it was used for anything you could imagine. We saw different modes of communication in the 1990s, like instant relay chats, IRCs, multiple user domains, MUDs, and AOL, which is America Online, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. But to get into the instant relay chats, those became more frequently used in the 1990s, even though it was created in the 1980s. It was created in 1988. But that was used for so users could join in real-time chat rooms. So it was a live chat room. It wasn't something that you could come back to. It was happening right there. And with instant messaging, there was a significant rise seen in this in the mid-90s with services like IQC, AOL, and MSN. That was all created in the 1990s. And lastly, multi-user dungeons in the early 90s. These were used amongst the more tech-savvy internet users, so you wouldn't see like older generation using these things. You would see, like I said, teenagers, you would see younger generation using this because the 1990s was their time. They were allowed to get into this like a lot more. And I also have a video talking about AOL shutting down. So everyone got so used to the web and chat rooms that when it shut down, they didn't know how to function without it. And that's what my video is going to talk about.
It could be called the silence of the techno-nerds. The world's largest computer service, America Online, went down yesterday for 19 hours, taking with it millions of subscribers who were suddenly cut off from their information wonderland.
6 million people were taken offline. An electronic community of 6 million people were blacked out. You couldn't have electronic chat sessions online, and you couldn't get instant news and stock quotes.
Starfish Software in Scotts Valley, California was having a big day, launching a new product when America Online cut them off from their potential customers.
We first kind of just looked at each other and said, gosh, now what do we do?
For some netheads and geeks, and that's what they call themselves, the crash of America Online left them feeling lost in cyberspace.
Basically, the entire thing had crashed.
And your reaction?
Oh my God, what am I gonna do?
Down at Cyberfelds, a computer coffee house in New York City, where people meet and greet, dial up information services, check out entertainment, and even order a steak online, there was a feeling that people's lives had been unplugged.
And without it, you were very frustrated, you were very anxious.
A black day.
Physics student Shani Offen lost more than information when America Online died. She'd been flirting out in cyberspace.
And you lost a relationship because of this?
A potential relationship.
And the worst thing of all for many netheads was having to resort to a more primitive technology. Telephones and faxes. Peter Van Sant, CBS News, New York.
Okay, I just got my first email account and it says I have one message.
Yeah, that's me. I just sent you a exchange letter. You have to forward it to 10 people or you get bad luck.
Kaden, seriously?
I mean, yeah, it's how people communicate now. Plus, I get to type LOL.
Well, at least emails are faster than waiting for mail.
Yeah, and look, we can talk to people in different states, maybe even different countries.
In the 1990s, email, chat rooms, and early instant messaging changed everything. Communication changed from waiting days to waiting seconds. For the first time, people built friendships online, even with people they had never met. But technology was still new. The internet buzzed, beeped, and sometimes crashed, but it was still the beginning of global connectivity.
During the 2000s, computer-mediated relations, or CMC, became a dominant mode of interaction. Tools shifted from slow email to instant messaging like AIM or MSN, which you can see on my slide. The move to real-time chatting changed how friends interacted. People could communicate or have conversations through the day without having to meet up in person or waiting hours or days for a reply. At the same time, the spread of SMS or text messaging went through mobile phones like flip phones, which is on here, and it transformed the way people exchanged quick messaging. This had a big impact not on just friendships, but also on dating and schoolwork, because students could coordinate and communicate instantly. Because there were no facial cues or tone of voice in these digital conversations, people relied on emoticons like a smiley face or abbreviations like BRB or LOL to express emotions or keep the conversation flowing. Early social media platforms like MySpace and Facebook, they combined messaging with networking, which created a new era in communication where people can not only chat, but they could share updates, photos, and personal information with their friends or the people that they had on social media. Finally, body language and vocal tone were replaced by creative writing styles, which I kind of touched on a bit, so people got inventive with the way that they typed, using humor, punctuation, and formatting to convey personality and emotion. But overall, the 2000s were a time where digital communication evolved quickly, which shaped the way that people communicate socially in ways that we still, that influences our interactions today.
The 2010s changed computer-mediated communication from just digital messaging to a multi-platform multimedia ecosystem. Communication became faster, more visual, and more interconnected. We have the rise of smartphones and mobile communication, which is like the rise of WhatsApp, Snapchat, and Instagram. Those all became the central platforms for the ways that people interacted and communicated. We have the growth of social media platforms such as Instagram and Snapchat. Those two introduced image-based communication, while TikTok soon launched after in 2016, which revolutionized video-based interaction. Social media began to be more personal, professional, and political, and it was also cultural, used for activism, marketing, and news. Then we have expansion of cloud-based and collaborative tools. Work and education became more online with tools like Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and Zoom. There's also personalization and algorithmic communication. Social media algorithms began creating a filter bubble, which shaped what different users saw on different platforms that they chose to use. And communication became personalized with content being tailored to what someone would normally watch or view. And it started changing people's behaviors and how they receive and share their info daily.
Did you see my new post? I got 50 likes in 1 hour. Nice, but I feel like people care more about that than real conversations.
Yeah, that's real. Sometimes I talk to people online more than I even talk to them in person.
Dang. Same, and texting is fast, but it's so easy to misunderstand someone.
Yeah, and don't forget the pressure. You just have to post, update, respond, keep streaks. It's like communication turned into a full-time job at this point.
Social media made communication instant, visual, and constant. Messages became shorter, photos became more important than words, and people began building online identities. But social media also brought challenges, comparison, misinformation, and less face-to-face connection. People were more connected than ever.
Computer-mediated communication in the 2020s has been very prevalent and has almost taken over society. In a post-pandemic world, remote and hybrid communication became the norm. Through Zoom calls, Google Meets, or Microsoft Teams, remote learning and remote communication was almost the norm and was normalized to a greater extent than it was previously. Short-form visual communication like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, things like that share quick messages with a wide variety of audiences very, very quickly also spread as well. There was a huge boom in short form as Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts were created after the year 2020 when TikTok almost had a huge boom. Voice and video notes were more prominent in text messaging and video chatting, as people didn't want to always type out long paragraphs, and the tools used to be able to record that also became more prominent and dominant in the social scene. As you see, AI chatbots and virtual assistants have become daily communication tools, whether that's AI autocorrect on your phone or whether that's Grammarly like that when you're typing messages in Gmail or other chat networks. There has also been an emphasis on encryption and what you're doing on your cell phone. So in terms of who you can send messages to, whether your text messages can be seen by other people that do not share the same devices, and cross-platform integration. there's been more methods of being able to connect with different people using different cellular devices or different devices regarding MacBooks or Windows computers in the 2020 world. And these are a few main platforms and technologies. We have WhatsApp, a digital, almost text messaging network where people across the world can communicate, and it's used more prevalently outside the United States. You have iMessage, Telegram, Discord, Signal, other communication networks. Video communication, like I said before, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meets, and of course, FaceTime. Social media, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and Threads. And then we also have some virtual collaboration and workplace tools that are more often used, obviously, in professional and workplace settings. And then impacts on work and education. Their remote work has been expanded globally. So like I said, remote and hybrid communication became the norm, and so did remote work. So people decided to work from home, and more companies were accepting of at-home jobs. And that's almost the same with virtual classrooms and e-learning, as homeschooling also became more prevalent. And here you can also see the boom in social media presence of even companies. So as we see here, traditional media and display advertising are a lot lower than content marketing, email marketing, social media ads, and social media marketing, almost showing that we live in a society where social media controls what people do, what people buy, and how people live. Thank you.
AI, otherwise known as artificial intelligence, is an umbrella term for computers that use cognitive thinking to help with humans, or that require human intelligence. Alan Turner was the first pioneer of intelligent computers, but Johnny McCarthy was the first person to call it artificial intelligence. While my peers spoke about the specifics on how AI has previously helped us, I will go into more of how AI will be helpful in the future. Experts say that AI is most effective when it supports human judgment in complex scenarios rather than replacing it entirely. For example, AI helping you take something from one place to another place, or help you with the idea of something rather than AI writing your whole paper. There is a downside though to the future of AI, which is that for people like policymakers, educators, and industry leaders, AI will not necessarily help them out in the sense of, for example, educators, teachers are trying to teach students, but if AI is helping, it compromises what students actually know versus, and makes teachers not need a job anymore, essentially, because AI will be teaching the students instead.
I'm writing an email to my professor. Grammarly just fixed my sentence again.
AI saves time. My phone just finished the sentence for me.
Yeah, but honestly, half of my messages aren't even typed by me anymore.
I mean, same, but like AI summarizes long sentences. It's a little weird, I guess.
Yeah, like what if AI decides which messages are important for me?
Today, communication is faster and smarter than ever. AI helps people spell, write, summarize, and translate. It can mimic tone, suggest responses, and even generate full conversations. But the more AI assists, the more the line blurs between human communication and automated communication. Are we expressing ourselves, or is technology expressing for us?
CMC now plays a major role in how we share information and build relationships, whether it's online, whether it's through text, or whether we meet face-to-face, but we still use certain tools. Communication keeps evolving, and the understanding of CMC has helped us navigate the world that's becoming more digital day by day. Thank you. Over time, computer-mediated communication has completely reshaped how we interact with one another. What first began as basic emails and early online messaging has transformed into the social network of video calls, mobile apps, and AI-powered tools. With each decade, communication has become more quicker, more visual, and more consistent, allowing us to stay connected no matter where we are, no matter the distance, and no matter how long it takes.
Social media connects us. It also transforms the way we express ourselves by shaping our tone, limiting our emotional cues, and influencing the way our messages are understood.
Social media connects billions of people instantly, creating a network of ideas, news, and conversations.
But sometimes we lose that human touch. AI has made it possible for us to connect with each other without seeing each other in person.
Using AI helps us communicate more accurately and faster by quickly processing information, correcting errors, and making sure that everything gets delivered more clearly and quickly. Thank you.
Email has made long-distance communication possible, and it's used widely for professional communication.
I learned that face-to-face communication builds emotion and trust. When you see somebody face-to-face, you can see their facial emotions, you know their tone, and you know how they meant for what they said to come off to you.
The best communication is a balance. Valuing real human connection and using technology for what it's intended for is important, and it truly makes our lives impactful and meaningful.
Communication has evolved from handwritten letters to AI-generated messages, but one thing hasn't changed. We communicate to understand each other, and no matter how advanced technology becomes, the most powerful connections are still the human ones.
Computer-mediated communication has changed the world, but how we use it is what gives it power. Thank you.
Okay.